If you live here, fun is your thing. If you live here, tough is your thing. Smart is your thing. Caring is your thing. If you live in Massachusetts, community is your thing. Since 1972, the Massachusetts State Lottery has provided over $25 billion to help cities and towns with the things they need most. If you live here, giving is your thing.
My family earns respect.
My family clears bases.
My family breaks records.
My family wins MVPs.
My family gives everything.
My family makes history. My family wins championships.
There's no family.
There's no family. There's no family.
There's no family like my family.
Join the fam.
Join the fam.
Join the fam.
When Alaska Airlines needed a partner for the complex operations of travel, they made the switch to T-Mobile. Our 5G has Alaska Airlines and their customers covered, from major hubs to remote destinations, with 5G coverage ready now for the demands of today and the future. T-Mobile's network powers Alaska Airlines as they deliver next-level care for all customers. 5G ready now. That's how unconventional thinking is better for business.
Coke Zero is now Coke Zero Sugar, with great Coke taste. Some people were excited to hear the news, some were skeptical. So we're not gonna have the star of the show you're watching come out and say, "You'll love it." No special jingle written by this week's hottest pop star. No famous internet celebs who happen to be holding the label just so. Okay, maybe just one little pour shot. The only thing that will make you believe Coke Zero Sugar has great Coke taste is trying it yourself. Ice cold Coke Zero Sugar. Try one today.
A tough day yesterday for the Harbor Hawks has led us into today. Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. Michael Kirsting, Mickey Doolittle, Jacob Irons with you, bringing you the action today between the Hyannis Harbor Hawks and the Falmouth Commodores. Starting off, guys, let's jump into yesterday's game. The pitching was really good for Hyannis. What did you see out of that?
Yeah, the pitching from Hyannis, once again, it's become one of those monikers that we are continuing to iterate time and time again. And the bullpen has been fabulous. When you talk about Ethan Lanthier, once again, we talk about it with our baseball ops team, the fourth hardest pitch so far on Cape Cod with his fastball. He has been lights out, and he came in yesterday. Another strong showing from the bullpen, but we've been giving bullpen love. You also have to give credit to the starters where they have done fabulous as well.
Yeah, yesterday, 4 runs given up by the Harbor Hawks, but only one of those were earned off of an error. So shifting focus to today, Michael, it's going to be an offensive game. Falmouth, of course, has a great offense. What does everybody need to do to be successful in this game?
On this Hyannis team today, it's about bouncing back from yesterday and taking advantage of those chances with runners in scoring position. Double-digit runners left on base yesterday. The first time that we've really seen that from Hyannis. We've talked about manufacturing runs, getting runners on base, and then getting the big hit with those runners in scoring position. Well, it didn't happen yesterday, and it's not going to happen every day. So this is just one of those days where you forget about yesterday and just move on to the next one.
It's going to be interesting to see. All the action is coming at you at 6 o'clock right here on the Harbor Hawk Baseball Network. It's going to be an interesting one. It's Falmouth, and it is Hyannis on the Harbor Hawk Baseball Network coming up next. Back here at McKeon Park alongside Andrew Sundin. And Andrew, this is your last day out here on the Cape. What have you enjoyed so far about the experience?
I would have to say probably just the teammates, the atmosphere. You're not playing on the best fields, but, the team makes it all worthwhile. Playing the best baseball that you can and playing your heart out, there's no better feeling.
You're leading the league right now in RBI. How does that feel? Were there any adjustments that you made coming out here? Or is it kind of the same approach as back during the collegiate season?
Well, honestly, I didn't know that until you told me about 30 seconds ago. So I don't really have a different approach. I kind of just try to go up there and see ball and hit it.
You got 7 RBIs right now. How does that make you feel?
Good.
What's your favorite restaurant out here?
Oh, I think this place called like Bobby Burns or something like that. They got the best potato skins I've ever had in my life.
Awesome, awesome. Potato skins from Bobby Burns. You heard it here first. Good luck today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
From McKeon Park, I'm Bria Losick alongside Trey Lipsy from The Ohio State University. Trey, you spent most of your season, injured and wasn't really able to play much in your collegiate season, and now you're here on the Cape. You've gotten some ABs in. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. My groin's a lot better and it's healed up, and I'm just ready to ball out and ready to get some dubs with the Hawks.
The past few nights, your mom and your Nana have been in the stands, and they said that they're planning on staying here for a whole month.
Yeah.
What does their support mean to you?
Oh, it means the world. Crazy Nana's been getting rowdy, if you guys heard her in the stands, and it's great. So it's a lot of fun.
And, just for the Hawks fans to kind of get to know you a little bit more, growing up, who was one player that you modeled your game after?
Oh, I'd probably say Ken Griffey Jr. Big fan of his.
All right. Good choice there, Trey. We will see what he can do tonight at the plate, and let's wrap it up and go back to the guys in the booth.
Thank you.
Back with you here at McKeon Park, getting you set for Falmouth and the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. Today, it's going to be Colson Buchanan on the mound for the Harbor Hawks against this potent Falmouth lineup that ranks 4th in the Cape Cod Baseball League in runs right now. Buchanan is going to have his hands full today. What does he need to do to shut him down?
We're going to talk about it. It's going to go attack Colson Buchanan from the Woodford Terriers. He's going to have to be like a Terrier and go attack some people early and often, and that's what you want to be, ahead in count. That is the biggest thing. We talked about it yesterday, and when we allowed those free passes a little bit, they only allowed 4, but when you did it, it got behind early. If you can be ahead early in counts, that's going to be the key to success, and that's why we've seen so dominant performances from Hyannis, is because they've been ahead in the count. They've been able to be effective starting on early.
Michael?
And we'll go into the offensive side now. They're going to look for their third baseman, Michael Eze, who was a star with Georgetown this season, to power that offense. He sits towards the bottom of the lineup just to provide a little bit of stability as well, but this is a really good lineup, as we mentioned, all the way through, and then Eze, just a highlight of it.
Hyannis getting some new names as well today, guys, if we want to talk about that. Ethan Bates, one of them, the two-way star, and Michael, you're familiar with one of them.
Yeah, Ian Petrutz, former Maryland starter. He's on the bench now, and we saw one of them yesterday. The guy that I'm really interested to see get full at-bats in his first game at home is Billy Amick. We saw him in right field, I believe it was yesterday. He's at the hot corner today at third base. He's showing quite a bit of versatility for the Hawks.
Yeah. He drove 16 hours and played yesterday. That just shows you the commitment Amick has to developing himself as a professional, but also already his commitment to the Harbor Hawks team, that he's willing to drive 16 hours and say, Coach, I'm ready to go and I'm ready to play.
It's always interesting to see how people find their way to the Cape, a magical place, as we say time and time again. But there's another one, another newcomer that I'd like to talk about. It's the two-way player Ethan Bates from Louisiana Tech. He has a laundry list of accomplishments. What can we expect out of him?
I think we're going to see him be the two-way player that he is. I don't think, through talking to a couple people associated with the team and down low in baseball ops, they're going to use him as the two-way guy. Sometimes when you have a two-way guy in college, they go to summer ball, and they're not used in that versatile manner as the two-way guy. But I think Eric Beatty is going to be used in the two-way format.
I mean, you don't see as you said, you don't really see too many more two-way players outside of the main name, of course. It's obligatory at this point to mention Shohei Ohtani, as he's been used as just about as often as you could as a two-way hitter. You understand why you want to kind of manage the load on these young college guys, but it's at the same time, these guys want to be out there every single day. They've only got a few games to prove it, so why not send them out every day?
And top to bottom, this lineup has been fantastic so far on the year. You got a couple of guys that have really stood out, one of them being Andrew Sundin. But it's his final game today in the Cape, guys. What have you seen out of him, and what are you going to take away from his time out here?
I think it's a guy that comes in when the moment is the hardest, he will shine the brightest. He is batting 500 with runners on. 500 with runners on. I understand it's a small sample size. You haven't even played a week of baseball yet here on the Cape. But still, to do that feat is impressive nonetheless.
He also leads the league in RBIs right now, Michael.
Absolutely, and I mentioned this on the broadcast a few nights ago, that he was a lineup tweak. He was moved up, I think, from the 7 or 8 spot up into the cleanup spot. We saw it on Sunday in Wareham. He comes through with the bases loaded in that big situation. So you move your guys up there for a reason, and Sundin, he's showing exactly why.
And it's going to be time to step up for Brody Donay.
Yeah, Brody Donay, I think we've seen him flash a leather behind the plate, but like I said, he's just had a little bit of a stronger or harder adjustment to the wooden bat, but it's going to come with time. There is no doubt about it in that moment that Brody Donay will have that moment that it starts to click. That's why BP is so important. And it's still early. Like we're talking about it, it's a week into the season. There's no way around it. But Brody Donay, he will get there, and there's no doubt about it because you talk to Tino Martinez, you talk to everyone associated with the team, and they feel confident in his approaches and that they are willing to bet on him day in and day out.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's just part of that group that falls into it is an adjustment from metal to wood bats, from college season to summer ball season with the wood bats against tougher pitching as well. He's just got to find the groove a little bit. His pitch selection and the at-bats he's worked, they've been pretty good. We see him getting into full counts, deeper counts at that as well, if not full counts. He's putting in nice, healthy cuts too. All that's missing is the contact. That's going to be coming in the next few games.
Up and down, this lineup is really good. The pitching has been really good as well, especially the bullpen. We mentioned it. Who's a bullpen arm that has really stood out to you?
I think when you talk about a bullpen arm, it's Jamie Arnold. He came in against Wareham on the second night of the year and retired 6 straight via the strikeout. And when I mean they were hard strikeouts, they got him not even moving on a couple. And that's what you love to see.
And I talked to one of our buddies in baseball ops. You know, he threw just 2 off-speed pitches in that appearance. All fastballs, believe it or not. And he got 7 outs. He got the first one on a fielder's choice, the next 6 Ks, Ks, and Ks.
It's Falmouth, and it is Hyannis, and it is next right here on the Harbor Hawk Baseball Network.
Gannon's Tavern is the home of incredible wings, handcrafted cocktails, ice-cold beer, and Keno. Their innovative tavern menu features seafood, great sandwiches, steaks grilled to perfection, and stunning specialty dishes. There's no better place to watch your favorite New England pro football team than Gannon's Tavern, in their large bar or outside on their covered deck, complete with TV and sound. Gannon's Tavern, 959 Burses Way, Hyannis. Like them on Facebook and Instagram.
Yes, soon at Gannon's Tavern.
With Hood Milk, you can trust your family is getting high-quality milk in every nutritious and delicious drop. It begins here on farms that Hood selects, with farmers who uphold the highest standards and who pledge to never use artificial growth hormones. And you'll see that care continue right to your home with our Light Block bottle, which protects the fresh taste of your milk. At Hood, we never stop caring about our milk because you never stop caring about your family. Always good, always Hood.
Chip on the shoulder, that started at a very, very young age. People's expectations are, they're cool, they're fun, but mine are bigger.
When you play in New York, they want to see winners. It doesn't matter if it's a Monday or a Friday or a Saturday. You got to come with it, or those fans will let you know.
Pick one thing from me, pick one other thing from another player, make it your own, you turn to who you want to be.
What motivates me is the unknown. You know, how good can I be? You get away from the lights, you get away from the camera.
Mientras más presente yo esté en la caja de batería, más éxito tengo.
Man, how can you not keep it fun, man? This is a kid's game.
If you could go back and tell 10-year-old Francisco one thing, what would it be?
You're a bad mother.
Hey, Mama, what's up?
Did you switch my service from Verizon to T-Mobile? Yep.
T-Mobile has the only nationwide 5G.
Well, Mr. Know-It-All, let's see if you right about that.
Mama. Hey, Mama, I'm working.
It works at the pie shop.
T-Mobile's 5G works inside and out. Hey, what you need, Mama? I'm trying to watch the game with my boys.
It works in the park.
Oh, okay. Mama?
It works at the aquarium, in the parking garage, at the beach, in the elevator. It works in the movie theater, too. Oh, shush yourself. I'm talking to my baby.
You're driving me crazy.
I was just calling you to say thank you, baby. I love you.
I love you too, Mama. Yes, Mama.
It works in the kitchen. Hell, Mama.
Mama?
5G, it works in the club. Who are you in a club with?
Welcome back to McKeon Park here in Hyannis, Massachusetts. Falmouth and Hyannis getting set for some Cape Cod Baseball League action. We got some lineups, and Michael's standing by with them.
Yes, sir. Christian Martin leads us off, the second baseman. Up in the number 1 spot, Gavin Keelan, the shortstop, makes up the number 2 spot, so the middle infield sits at 1 and 2. Slugger Charlie Condon sits in the number 3 spot, and following the catcher, cleaning up Ross Highfall. The designated hitter, Scott Bandura, hits 5th. And as I mentioned earlier, talked about Michael Eze sitting in the 6th spot at third base. And then the outfielders make up 7, 8, 9. It'll be Mike Handel in left, Harrison Povey in right, and Tab Tracy in center.
Yeah, and when you talk about that lineup, you are talking about a potent lineup that is, like we talked about, Falmouth has found a way to get it done with their bats. It has just been trying to really connect everything together with their pitching, and once again, trying to find themselves as a complete team.
Absolutely. This is also a team that's going to find themselves later on in the season as the College Baseball World Series finishes up. This is going to be a team that finds themselves with Jack Caglianone as well in this lineup. So as if there isn't talent up and down just to begin with, Cags is going to come up here and just complete this lineup even more so.
You're exactly right. And let's take a look with Jacob Irons, who will be trying to shut down this Falmouth lineup.
Yeah, Dominic Nyman from Central Connecticut State University, the Blue Devils out of West Hartford, Connecticut. The ESEAC Player of the Year, sported a 2.77 ERA through 15 games played and 15 games started. Had 104 innings pitched for the Blue Devils, had 94 Ks. And he was on the 2023 National Player of the Year award watch list. That is someone that you are going to want to talk about when you're seeing here with the scouts in attendance. And it's going to be interesting. And then also, I love bringing it up, he played for Mystic in 2021, my old team back in the day. So
that's
a really strong showing from him. And I'm excited to see him pitch. He's got a dominant fastball for Neiman for the Falmouth Commodores.
And yeah, well, for now, the Commodores stepping up are going to have to face Colson Buchanan, as Buchanan will give a little bit of a line on him. You mentioned the Wofford Terriers, and I don't even know, is that it? Is it Wofford? Is it Wofford?
Wofford Terriers.
Wofford, there we go. Colson Buchanan, all Southern Conference second team for them. He's a starting pitcher, as we see 5-4 through 17 starts. An ERA hovering around 5, struck out 88 batters to rank 3rd in the league, and he's got a walk-to-strikeout ratio 3.83.
It'll be Christian Martin to lead it off for Falmouth. 60 degrees right here in Hyannis as he swings and fouls the first pitch back. First pitch at 5:59. We're a minute early here today.
That's what you like to see here. Prompt gamesmanship from everybody to be on top of it and be able to get there on time.
0-1 is taken low for a ball. We mentioned it in pregame. Falmouth 4th in the league in runs with 21 as he's going to foul this one down the left field line and out of play.
Yeah, this is a Falmouth team that can get hot. And they are contagious when hitting. Talk about this first game of the year where they almost came back against Wareham. When they get hot, they get going.
First hitter of the game is set down by Buchanan. Nice start for him. 1 away here in the first.
Yeah, we saw that off speed. We'll talk about the pitch mix. I'll be taking your thunder tonight, Mickey, giving a bit of a pitching scouting report. We go 50-50 on the off speed and the fastball with a curve and a slider. Lefties like Martin and, as we see Gavin Keelan here, lefties will be the only one that see the changeup out of his hands.
Righty on left is he flies this one out to left, and it's down right in front of Williamson out there in left field. So a little bit of a soft contact hit right there, and first hit of the game for Falmouth.
Yeah, if that's Duncan in front of Ben Williamson, you're not going to see many other guys on the Cape or even anywhere else get there, because we've seen Ben Williamson make 2 really nice defensive plays in his first 2 games here with the Harbor Hawks, so maybe taking a little easy there. It did dunk in front of him.
Charlie Condon stands in now as he lines that one out to right field. Over and to his left is Schoenfeld as he makes the play, and there is 2 away in the first. Nice play by Schoenfeld.
Yeah, first time we've seen him this season in a starting role. He came in 2 nights ago, as we normally, at this point, we have seen only Justin Casella in right field, and we saw Billy Amick last night. But Schoenfeld looks nice and comfortable out there to making that play on Condon. Decent player Condon is, too. We'll talk about him next time around.
Buchanan's got a little bit of that Craig Kimbrell arm holdover on the bump.
First pitch off speed, taken low for a ball. Couple of last-minute defensive shuffling for Hyannis. Cam Smith out in left field and Ben Williamson out in center. I knew something looked a little off on that first play as the 1-0 was taken outside for ball 2. Fastball misses down and away. So quickly a 3-0 count here to Ross Heifel.
So that'll mean that Trey Lipsy comes out of the game. Lipsy was initially slated to start in center.
3-0 is high and away for ball 4. So 2 on and 2 out here for Falmouth. And in stands Scott Bandra.
Now with 2 on, however, you do necessarily in this spot need to try and find something. However, you do have 2 away.
Bandura, the designated hitter tonight. First pitch misses low, and a big secondary lead from Heifel over at second, but he will get back.
You have 2 on with 2 outs, and we talked about it. That was the key to success for Hyannis in a couple of games, was making sure that they were able to attack early. Falmouth trying to take a piece of that.
Foul back. And for Hyannis, taking advantage of scoring opportunities has been something that at times they've struggled with. Of course, yesterday stranded, 10, 11 runners? I believe it was
11.
10 runners. It was 11 runners, excuse me. 1-2. Low for a ball. Excuse me, the 1-1.
2-1 here.
Bandura takes in there for strike 2.
Yeah, there's that fastball, and that's a nice spot, nice and low in the zone. That's a good comeback pitch.
Before yesterday, Hyannis was not missing out on many scoring opportunities. They came in with a lot of runs. That one's dumped out into left field right in front of Cam Smith, who's going to come up firing towards home plate, and it will not be in time to try and get the speedy Gavin Keelan, and the Falmouth Commodores have taken a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, good piece of hitting that just takes him right there automatically, just pushing himself off and over the plate and trying to get it. And like you said, Lipsy coming in that really quick moment that you have to try and see, and Smith doing a great job of firing in and trying to get some strong showing and fire home there and show his arm strength.
Michael Eze stands in, and he taps that one to short. Snow up with it and fires across the infield. It's a tough play, a close play at first, and it's not in time. He waited an extra bounce on that ball instead of charging it, and pays the price as Eze has a lot of speed, and he was moving out of the box and ultimately beats it out and steals a hit. So 3rd hit of the inning, and the bases are loaded.
Yeah, still trying to work out of this jam here.
First pitch taken low to Mike Handel.
Yeah, we've seen Snow with a bit of suspect defending over the last few games, committed an error last night and allowing Eze to reach on the weak single.
1-0, swing and a miss. High fastball.
All adversity to start your outing never is a bad thing, because sometimes that's the most adversity you face. Only get 1 first inning.
Pitch is taken outside.
Wind going right to left here.
That one catches the inner third of the plate. Nice fastball inside. If you want to locate that fastball, on the inner third is where you want to do it. He forces the hitter to get around on the ball pretty quick. 2-2 is swung on and missed. So Buchanan gets out of the first. The bases were ended up loaded, and Falmouth strands 3. We head to the bottom half. It's 1-0 Falmouth on the HarborHawks Baseball Network.
We all have obstacles, challenges at different points in life. I still push myself every single day, and the harder I push myself, the more I find myself drawn to wearing UFOs. The first time I put on a pair of UFOs, it was like someone released the pressure. It was so crazy. When you are recovered and can do more, that has a compounding effect on all aspects of your life. Stepping into a pair of UFOs, they're truly one of a kind. There's nothing like them.
Best ever? Good question. Wait, why'd he sound like Dr. J in your head? I've always sounded like Dr. J in my head, which means Dr. J's outside voice sounds like my inside voice? Which Coke? The doc would know. He got the world to call him doctor without going to med school. There's only one best ever.
Hyannis looking to answer the one-run Falmouth picked up in the top half of the first, and this is the lineup that will try and do it.
So Brad Key, Laurie, Ben Williamson, and Alex Lane make up the 1-2-3 as they did last night. Andrew Sundin will also stay in the cleanup spot, as well as Billy Amick batting 5th. Well, we had Trey Lipsy batting 6th, but now it might be a bit different as we saw Cam Smith slide out to left field, while we'll still have Eric Snow, Brody Donay, and Teddy Schoenfeld making up the 7, 8, and 9 of the HarborHawks order. As we've said earlier, Smith is in left field. That means Williamson slides over to center.
So a little bit of a reshuffle in the HarborHawks lineup, but Falmouth is all the same. What's their defensive alignment right now?
Yeah, you go, excuse me, Handel, Tracy, Povey, left to right in the outfield now, left to right in the infield. Ize, Keelan, Martin, Corden, and the battery partner of Nyman will be Highfill.
So Brad Keylori will stand in. College of Central Florida product. We'll look to get Hyannis started right now. He's second in the league in RBI, and he's only trailing his teammate Andrew Sundin. 6 of them so far on the year. First pitch to him is taken outside for a ball. And that's impressive from a leadoff hitter. High up in the league in RBIs. You don't see that very often.
Yeah, and it's just thanks to that bottom of the lineup just producing and manufacturing those hits, those walks, and just getting on base however they can. And he said that he thanked his teammates after the Wareham game for being on base when he hit that bases clearing triple.
2-0 is dropped in there with an off-speed pitch for strike 1.
Yeah, and this is where it's almost a give or take for Falmouth. They have the hot bats, but then ultimately on the bump, it gets a little dicey for them with a 5.60 ERA, which is 8th so far in the league, which is not necessarily the worst, but then they've allowed 41 hits, which is the most in the Cape Cod Baseball League so far this summer.
2-2 is taken in there, strike 3 call. So Laurie is set down on strikes, and that'll bring up Ben Williamson. But before Williamson hits, Dominic Nyman on the mound for Falmouth. What do we have on him?
Yeah, Nyman, like we talked about in the open there, is a strong player and had 94 Ks, already picking up another one here to start things off against the HarborHawks.
First pitch to Williamson is taken for a strike.
Yeah, pitch for Central Connecticut, 2.77 ERA, 12-2 record with those 94 strikeouts. As Jacob Irons mentioned, he was the ECAC Pitcher of the Year.
That one's lined into left field, and it will get down and roll all the way to the wall. Ben Williamson has some wheels. Trouble with it out in right center field, or excuse me, down the right field line is Povey, but he will get it in quick enough. Williamson stops at second with a one-out double.
A great piece of hitting by Ben Williamson, and that's a pitch on the outside part of the plate. He goes with it. He doesn't try and force it and bring it back. He works with it ultimately to get it down the line and poke it over there. And like we talked about, 3:58, and in that corner, it gets a little dicey, does a great job, and now a runner on second in scoring position to put themselves and try and answer back.
So here comes Alex Lane, the big, tall first baseman. First pitch to him is lined into center field, but it is right at Tracy out there. He collects it in no problem, and there's 2 away.
Yeah, you can't be mad about that if you're Alex Lane. That is solid contact, and you got to be sure when you're swinging at the first pitch. He was sure on that one, but, yeah, that's just one of those where it's just unfortunately hit straight at that guy out in center.
Now that brings up Andrew Sundin, who we talked about, hitting .500 with runners on, trying to extend that here today with a runner on in Ben Williamson on second.
His final game out here on the Cape, as we talked to him in the pregame show. Leads the Cape Cod Baseball League in RBIs right now. Here's the pitch, and it is a check swing on a back foot slider, and then he went around for strike 1.
And Mike Hinojosa, the first place umpire.
Nyman will use a fastball about 65% of the time, as the 0-1 is taken for a strike. Sliders used pretty healthily to both righties and lefties. 25% against righties, about 33% against lefties. He'll mix in a changeup against righties. Here's the pitch, and it is in there for strike 3 call. And not happy about it is Andrew Sundin, as he will head back to the bench, and the Harbor Hawks leave Williamson on after the 1-out double. We head to the second. It's 1-0 Falmouth on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
Diet Coke? Were you my mom?
You should be so lucky, because you know what moms do? Well, I suppose we should start with the whole giving you life thing. It seems like that should be enough. No? Okay. What about her ability to send shockwaves through the neighborhood without saying a word? Or whip up a ridiculous handmade costume that you forgot to tell her about? Not to make you happy, but because she had a reputation to uphold. She invented rideshare, called it carpool, and did it for free. She didn't need those dating apps either. You copied her jeans, her spin, her shoes, her scrunchie, and whether you realize it or not, her music.
Why not?
Oh, and she can win any argument in 4 words.
Because I said so.
Everything you're trying to do, she's already done it, did it better, and she did it with a Diet Coke in her hand. So, drink what your mama gave you.
It'll be 8-9-1 for Falmouth as they have a 1-0 lead over the Harbor Hawks here entering the second inning, and Harbor Hawks looking to shut them down.
Yeah, the Harbor Hawks kind of getting a taste of their own medicine a little bit, just stringing hits together in the early goings. That was really big from Buchanan to be able to get out of that inning having only let up 1 run. Stranding those bases loaded is a good confidence booster for him, especially considering that he struck out Mike Handel swinging on that last pitch. So he should use that momentum. Forget about that first inning. It's a clean game from here on out, and use that same energy going forward from here on out.
In stands Harrison Povey as he takes up and in for ball 1.
Yeah, and when you talk about Falmouth here in this spot, you want to be smart and confident in yourself. You already got 1. Now you're going back to the top of the lineup. You have to feel a little bit of confidence that you've found a little bit of a rhythm against Buchanan.
It's almost more important that you have a successful inning. You follow a successful inning up with another successful inning here, especially after you leave the bases loaded in the first. Line down the left field line, over and to his right is Smith. He's towards the wall, and it bops in and out of his glove, and no catch on there as he fires it back in towards the infield. So Povey will pull into second, and not sure what they're going to call that one.
Yeah, you could see what Smith was doing there. He had his right arm outstretched. He may not have been sure about the dimensions of that. He may have been looking to see if he was going to crash into the wall, and you were seeing that was going to be what was his main concern and not necessarily catching the ball. It was in his glove, but it just popped out.
Tracy stands in and shows bunt, but takes a strike, and He was certainly feeling for that wall back there as he was running out of room. He was probably on the warning track by that point. Can't really tell from our vantage point.
They're going to rule it an official double for Povey.
Would have been a tougher error. Still would have made sense as he tried to check his swing but went around, and it's 0-2. Fourth hit of the game for Falmouth already. Got a lot of traffic on the bases. 0-2 the count. Here's the pitch, and that one slapped down the left field line and towards the Hyannis bullpen, but out of play.
Yeah, a little bit of a protect me swing there, and you bring Tracy in, who's 10th right now in the league with a .364 batting average, 4 for 11, almost using him in this spot as like a second leadoff for the Commodores.
That one's poked foul.
And I think that's something that more coaches should utilize that 9-hole hitter as, is that second leadoff, just with that speed, and then you can build it a little bit more.
Not only the speed, but the high on-base percentage. If you can get on base no matter by any means necessary in that bottom spot of the lineup, you can set the table for the top of the lineup as the pitch is spiked by Buchanan.
But it's always such a conversation that you want these high percentage guys getting on, but you also want them to get more at-bats at the top of the order. So you try and balance out those guys. If you got two leadoff-like guys, yeah, then you could stick one of them at the bottom or one right behind in the two.
That one's a line drive into left field, a base hit. Smith is going to come up firing, but they're going to hold Povey over at third. So another hit for Falmouth sets up the runners at the corners situation for the top of the lineup.
Yeah, Falmouth maybe had an opportunity to send Povey home, but
yeah, that would have been a tough send.
It would have been a tough send indeed. They elect to hold, and once again, still nobody out here in this second inning, so would rather make it the sure thing to try and send him home instead of trying to get out on the home.
In stands the lefty as he takes low for a ball. That's Christian Martin. Struck out to open up the game. Second hit of the inning for Falmouth. Fifth hit of the game. The pitch is lined back up the middle and past the dive of Laurie at second. That one's going to get into center field, and Williamson has trouble with it out in center field. They're trying to advance. Over to third is Tracy, and he's going to be thrown out by Williamson. Great throw by Ben Williamson to gun down Tracy, trying to take an extra bag, and that's the first out of the inning.
A great relay there from Williamson to Snow to Amick to get there in time, and a great tag by Amick to get it down and do a snap tag right away on that, and going head first in there. Tracy just unable to beat the throw.
On the play, Martin will take second. So with one out, in stands Gavin Keelan. Takes a strike. Williamson's defense has been phenomenal this year. We say it time and time again, and his arm plus his range out there in the outfield is phenomenal. And he's also played shortstop and third base on that left side of the infield for William and Mary this year. 0-2 the count to Keelan. Buchanan sets and delivers, and that one's bounced up the middle, but right at Snow. He collects it up, throws to first in time for the second out.
Great job playing the hop there. Was Snow, and it's that hop on the infield grass to infield dirt that he plays it so well, allowing it to come to him. Has the glove right position there and fires over.
And it was deep enough that the runner does go to third, so that's a productive out now with 2 outs.
Charlie Condon stands in and takes a ball.
Yeah, Condon had a really impressive freshman season at Georgia. He was a red shirt, and he hit 386 with 25 home runs in your first full season in the SEC. That is extremely impressive.
1-0 is lined up the middle and a base hit, and this will score another. Falmouth is going to take a 3-0 lead here early in the top of the second. Nice piece of hitting by Charlie Condon.
Yeah, Falmouth all over Colson Buchanan early in this game, and you've seen such strong pitching from Hyannis through these first 4 games and change, but it's been rough for Buchanan so far. Hasn't been locating the pitches. The fastball's just been right down the middle every time, and they've been taking advantage every time.
Yeah, Buchanan's going to slow the pace down here and have a meeting at the mound. So 3 runs on 7 hits already for Falmouth. And Hyannis has only gotten 4 hitters to the plate. It's not been a great start for Hyannis.
And when we say 7 hits, they are truly 7 hits. There is nothing, there's not like too many of those that are questionable whether they could be a hit or an error. Those are truly 7 hits minus the 1 play out to Smith. So it has just been a T-fest, and your Falmouth just showing off their offense.
So the meeting is broken up at the mound, and in stands Ross Highfill. The catcher, he walked back in the first, advanced over to third, but was ultimately stranded. 2 outs, top of the second. Just underway here from Hyannis. First pitch to him, drops in there for a strike.
Yeah, that box score of 3 runs and 7 hits, that looks like that could be something that happens in like the 7th inning, but this is only the top of the second, and they're working their way all the way through the chain again.
Pitch is taken down and away.
And now with 7, you almost have to say they will get to double-digit hits. You would have to imagine that, especially with the offense we've seen, that they will get 3 more to put themselves at 10. And probably in the next couple innings as well, because they've just come out and seen the ball like a beach ball, and they've been able to make bat-on-ball contact.
Yeah, you see most of the lefties. This is a lefty-heavy lineup, and Buchanan really throws that changeup to lefties. Only it's an exclusively lefty-to pitch, so you're thinking that that could be a pitch that was in the scouting report for these hitters to look out for, and maybe there's just not enough break on it, or the lefties are just seeing it better today.
3-1 the count. Here's the pitch, and it is just a bit outside. That was a nice pitch. Checked his swing, appeal down to first. No swing, says first base umpire, and there will be runners at first and second with 2 outs for Scott Bandura.
Yeah, Bandura had that big single back in the first inning. Looking to continue that here with the runner in scoring position. Condon.
First pitch to him is bounced back up the middle, but Laurie is right there. He's going to glove flip it over to Snow at second. That was pretty nice. And the inning is finally over. Falmouth picks up 2 runs on 4 hits in strand 2. We're headed to the bottom half of the second. You are listening and watching the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
Your future begins at Dean College.
Make a difference. Leave your mark. Break the mold.
Be a leader.
Achieve unimagined heights.
Believe in yourself. Make lifelong friends.
This is your time.
Your place.
Your home. Your Dean.
It all starts here at Dean College.
Retirement strategies come in all shapes and sizes. One strategy does not fit all when it comes to reaching your retirement goals. And considering all your options may be, well, more than you want to think about. So whether you're looking to retire or already living in retirement, you need a strategy tailor-made for you.
Fairway Financial can create a personal retirement strategy just for you, designed to take care of you and your loved ones. Call us.
Back with you from Hyannis as the Harbor Hawks have quickly fallen behind 3-0 to the Falmouth Commodores, and it'll be Amick, Smith, and Snow due up for the Harbor Hawks, and Billy Amick, a guy that just joined the team a couple of days ago from Clemson, is going to lead it off. He's an exciting player, if I do say so myself, a guy that people are really excited to watch.
Yeah, hitting above 400, and now he's already featured in 2 positions in as many games. We saw him in right yesterday, and now he's at the hot corner with Cam Smith out in left field. So it is interesting to see how Coach Eric Beatty is getting all these guys in the lineup, and it is interesting to see how versatile a lot of these players are.
Nyman back out for his second inning of work. First pitch to him is taken outside for a ball. Amick, a guy that was first team All-ACC. Played only one of the first 12 games of the season for Clemson as he grounds that one to the left side of the infield. Having trouble with it is Eze, and it's going to be an error.
Yeah, looked to be an interesting one right off the bat, maybe a bit of spin to it. But, yeah, usually a slick fielder, that hop got the best of him.
Yeah,
It's a tricky infield.
It really is, and when you talk to opposing coaches, that's what they've always said. And that's the beauty of Hyannis being able to play here. There are those little hops, but that one just feels like it took a hop on him and then just lost it a little bit on the transfer, trying to get it out of his glove and make the throw over.
First pitch to Cam Smith is taken low for a ball. Smith was the late addition to the lineup today as he lines that one to the left side, but this one's snared by Eze, and he throws it away, and it goes into right field, and it gets away from the right fielder, Povey, as this is going to score a run, as Amick is going to show off that speed and come all the way around, so a pair of errors on the play have led to the first Hyannis run of the game.
Yeah, just once again, opportune base running for the Harbor Hawks. They take that opportunity and they use it to their advantage. That is what they've been doing so well, manufacturing runs. They do it right there so effectively. They didn't necessarily manufacture it, but they're taking advantage of slip-ups and now get one across, and now you're only down by 2 with a runner on second.
Yeah, it was a really nice play by Eze to glove it, but he knew that he had to rush, and that's another thing that Amick brings to the table is speed. And when speed happens, it forces you to panic. If anything, it does force you to panic, and that was what happened with Eze there. He rushed that throw and sent it into right field.
Eric Snow stands in. What's that going to be ruled?
We have not gotten too much yet, as it's still it's still updating in point streak, and I will let you know as soon as it is updated and we hear from the official score.
It's got to be a double error, right?
Maybe not on the right fielder, but maybe he scores on that throw, but we'll see.
It'll be a hit and then an error on the throw from Eze.
Interesting. Snow sees a 2-0 and fouls it back.
Yeah, a little bit
That's
of
an interesting ruling. So the error must have been in right, or the throwing error that threw it away to right. That makes sense. So the assumption is that throwing error by Eze allowed
correct. That's what they're ruling.
Amick the extra bases,
correct,
and Smith the extra base as Snow strikes out swinging.
Yeah, and to go back to the Amick hit, that will be a hit, not an error against Amick. So he'll be ruled an single there to start the inning. I'd envy any point streak scorer, because sometimes in these games, especially with everything going on, because then you have to keep track of what just happened. Then you have to register new pitches while still keeping track of everything. It can get crazy quickly, and they do a great job over there for point streak and the official scores of the Cape Cod Baseball League to make sure it's all ironed out. Everyone's happy with it.
So here's Donay as he takes outside.
We also appreciate them. Also, we have a door right here. They give us a little bit of a peek through and give us a little insight into how he's officially ruling it.
1-1 the count to Donay in a RBI situation with Smith over at second. Inside, ball 2.
Now, lost in all this scoring and all the mumbo-jumbo with the errors and the hits, there's a chance now for the Harbor Hawks to get back into this. They've got a run in already, and now another runner in scoring position with Donay at the plate and the top of the lineup beckoning after Schoenfeld, who waits on deck.
Donay waits on a off-speed pitch and fouls it back. A little bit of a defensive swing there, but stays alive. Not stays alive. He fouls it back for the second strike of the count.
Donay, like we talked about, just tooling with his swing here a little bit early in the year to try and really find something that works for him with the wooden bat.
2-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Donay strikes out swinging. So his struggles with the bat continue. We know the massive potential that he has with all of that power. And here comes Teddy Schoenfeld.
Give him some time here. I think everyone's quick to judge in Cape Cod because everyone wants results quick. But give him a little bit of time, and I have to imagine he's going to start rocketing up the leaderboard.
First pitch to Schoenfeld is taken high for a ball. Schoenfeld from MIT just joined the Harbor Hawks organization a couple of days ago. Here's the pitch, and it is in there, strike one.
And MIT, a weird, interesting one, a school that is
What's
so
the mascot?
Oh, the Engineers. We talked about this
yes,
yesterday.
we did.
Come on,
Yeah,
we
we
can't,
did. My
we
bad.
can't scoop me on that. But MIT, one of those weird schools, a D3 school that has such a strong athletic program that continues to be really strong.
Bounced right back to Nyman as he picks it up and flips it over to first to end the inning. But the Harbor Hawks pick up a run and cut the lead to 2. It's 3-1 here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
Gannon's Tavern is the home of incredible wings, handcrafted cocktails, ice-cold beer, and Keno. Their innovative tavern menu features seafood, great sandwiches, steaks grilled to perfection, and stunning specialty dishes. There's no better place to watch your favorite New England pro football team than Gannon's Tavern, in their large bar or outside on their covered deck, complete with TV and sound. Gannon's Tavern, 959 Burses Way, Hyannis. Like them on Facebook and Instagram.
Yes, soon at Gannon Tavern.
With Hood Milk, you can trust your family is getting high-quality milk in every nutritious and delicious drop. It begins here on farms that Hood selects, with farmers who uphold the highest standards and who pledge to never use artificial growth hormones. And you'll see that care continue right to your home with our Light Block bottle, which protects the fresh taste of your milk. At Hood, we never stop caring about our milk because you never stop caring about your family. Always good, always Hood.
Back to work is Colson Buchanan on the bump for the Harbor Hawks, looking to recover a little bit from a rough first couple of innings. But as we've been saying, the Harbor Hawks have had some fantastic pitching throughout the year, so you have to understand that Buchanan might be working through a couple of things. And, of course, here on the Cape, it's some of the best competition a lot of these guys have ever faced.
Yeah, they are the definition of super teams. Like, we've talked about it continuously throughout a couple players that I've been able to talk about, and it's hard when you talk. There's no getting through it. There's not like in college where you get through your starter and your weekend rotation starter, and then you get to your bullpen pitcher that might be a little less strong. You're going to then the ace of that bullpen that's coming in from that bullpen. So it's just one of those tough situations where these are super teams, and to get your first outing, you're going to get hit around a little bit here, but it's all about responding to it. How do you respond and show up?
And not only that, I mean, this pitching through 4 games has just been stellar. I mean, we've seen the runs score, most of them unearned, so it's a credit to the pitchers that they really are getting the pitches and the results that they wanted. We saw Laurie make an unfortunate error in Wareham where it was just an easy tailor-made little double play ball, but he just boots it where it happens. But at the same time, you credit these pitchers for looking so decent, and that level is not always going to be attainable throughout the entire season. You're going to have hiccups throughout the year, and this is evidently one of them.
Eze stands in and lines that one out into right center field. Converging on it is Williamson and Schoenfeld, but it's going to fall all the way to the wall as Eze will pull into second with a leadoff double.
Yeah, good piece of hitting, but I think the play that might get missed is Schoenfeld bare-handing it off the bounce of the wall, not even allowing it to go into his glove, just grabs it right out of thin air to throw it in. And especially with Eze's speed, you could have seen it starting to get to third, especially how deep center field is in that right center field gap. It could go the distance there and really cause issues, but great play there and great speed as well to put himself on second.
Yeah, we saw 2 cavernous parks in Wareham, and last night with Brewster that we saw Lipsy leg out a triple and how quickly they're started. If you're lackadaisical out there, Schoenfeld was not, but if he was, that could turn into a third base because of Eze's speed. We saw him leg out that infield hit in the first. So, yeah, really good work from Schoenfeld just to hold it to 2.
Throw over to second by Buchanan. Mike Handel stands in. He struck out in the first to end the inning with the bases loaded. Two for 16 so far on the year. He has an RBI, though, as he lines that one foul down the right field line.
I always love, you have to be active as a base coach. Got to keep your head on a swivel at every given moment when you're on the field. There's a reason why you wear those hard shells.
3-1 the count. We've seen some base coaches made some great plays over the years. Of course, they don't have a glove. They can just scoop it up. A lot of these guys, former players. 3-1 is taken low for a ball.
They get to feel a little bit like they're back in the action because they have to make split-second decisions like they did as a player. You have to decide, and you're watching everything. You have to, especially your hand signals are so decisive that one bad hand signal can send someone where you didn't want them to go. So you have to look at it, think about it, and then make the proper hand gesture just like you did as a player. So really, it's one of those ex-player positions on the coaching staff that really allows you to feel invigorated.
Povey shows bunt, but pulls back and takes that one for a strike. A double for Povey back in the second to lead it off, and he later came around to score as he takes that one in the dirt.
A little bit of action down in the bullpen as well for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks.
1-1 the count. Here's the pitch, and it's low for a ball.
All right, 3, 2, 1. No, never mind. Okay. After this next pitch, I'll put you on.
Buchanan brings a 5-4 record, a 3.83 ERA from the regular season, the regular college season, and a 4.94 ERA.
Yeah.
3.83 strikeout to ball ratio, strikeout to walk ratio.
Daniel Trumper over there in the bullpen from Kansas.
Another pitch taken low, and the count will run full. Three walks on the day for Buchanan so far, 2 strikeouts. The 3-2 is lined down the right field line. This could be trouble if it's fair, but it's going to slice foul into the woods. And the count will remain full. That's a long walk back to home plate when you know you just got out in front of one. You made good contact, but couldn't quite keep it straight.
He's on it, though. If he sees that pitch again, you have to imagine he might straighten it out a little bit.
Povey lines that one down the right field line. Great snag by Lane over at first. He's going to flip it to the covering Buchanan for the first out of the inning. Nice play by Alex Lane.
That's a run saver, too. It's a really hot shot down to that right side, and Lane had to take a knee to go get it because he scorched it, and that goes into the corner past Lane. It scores, too. So really, really nice play to, though the runners do advance, it keeps them off the board for now, and this may be all for Buchanan.
And it's going to be a pitching change here for Hyannis. We're going to get that name for you when we return. It's 3-1 Falmouth on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
That chip on the shoulder, that started at a very, very young age. People's expectations are, they're cool, they're fun, but mine are bigger.
When you play in New York, they want to see winners. It doesn't matter if it's a Monday or a Friday or a Saturday. You got to come with it, or those fans will let you know.
Pick one thing from me, pick one other thing from another player, make it your own, you turn to who you want to be.
What motivates me is the unknown. You know, how good can I be? You get away from the lights, you get away from the camera.
Mientras más presente yo esté en la caja de batería, más éxito tengo.
Man, how can you not keep it fun, man? This is a kid's game.
If you could go back and tell 10-year-old Francisco one thing, what would it be? Be a bad mother.
Daniel Trumper from the University of Kansas will take the mound for Hyannis. He had a great outing just a couple of nights ago at Wareham. He went 2 1/3 innings, gave up 2 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Coming in from Kansas is a guy that has been very good for the Jayhawks, and so far has been pretty good for Hyannis.
Yeah, opponents have batted only 205 against him for the Jayhawks this year. That's the second lowest in the Big 12. Also made a bunch of appearances with 28. All of his ranks are really up there. A 1.22 whip, walks plus hits per innings pitched. That's a 6th best in the conference. And he's also used to the Wood Bat Leagues as he played with the Rochester Honkers of the Northwoods League. I like that name, the Rochester Honkers. He's had 24 games for them in the Northwoods last year.
You know, the Northwoods League do names right.
Yeah.
And I don't know a ton of them, but the ones that I do know are really cool.
Oh, yeah.
You have the new team this year out of the Northwoods Leagues, the Minot Hot Tots as well.
The Minot Hot Tots. That's awesome.
With their logo being a tater tot, that's pretty impressive, isn't it? That's some good graphic design.
That's like something like a AA team would rebrand into for a day or two.
Or like the Portland Sea Dogs, the AA affiliate of the Red Sox just up the road in Portland, Maine. They've rebranded to the Portland Whoopie Pies.
Nice.
Love a good whoopie pie out here in New England. Get that cream cheese filling. It's fabulous. Thank you. We've got production crew all nodding.
Man,
I don't know where the churros are from, but there is a minor league team that rebrands into the churros for a day or two.
You guys got to stop it right now. It's around dinner time. I haven't eaten in a bit. Y'all are getting me hungry for dessert, not even dinner.
Tab Tracy stands in. It'll be Daniel Trumper's first appearance, first assignment here as he takes a strike.
Yeah, and to go along that, the Hartford Guard Goats, where your Hyannis Harborhawks will play at Dunkin' Donuts Park, they rebrand to the Steamed Cheeseburgers, a Hartford favorite, so another rebranding there. You'll be able to see them on the 26th at Dunkin' Donuts Park. A little bit of an early start, an 11 a.m. start, but we'll have the action right here. We get the video broadcast of that one.
Yeah, Harborhawks and YD. 1-1 the count. Tracy lines that one to left for a base hit. This might score two. Churning around third is Handel, and he's going to be held. Nice piece of hitting there from Tab Tracy as he gets Trumper's first hitter as a single.
Once again, a good piece of controlled hitting from Tracy just to take it with him. A little blooper that has to drop in front of Smith and does a good job of just putting it where they ain't.
Good news was that with that is that the double play is set up with the runner at first. Christian Martin stands in, a single and a strikeout so far. The pitch is up and in, and it gets to the backstop past Donay, and this will score a run. So never mind about the double play. Handel will come in to score, and on the play, Tracy moves up to second. So the score now 5-1, Falmouth. Martin's hit in all 3 innings so far. Pitch is a curveball perfectly placed on the outer third for strike one.
And coming into this game, we talked about the potent Falmouth lineup and their batting. Just another showing of them here today, where they're able to put bat on ball and find the gaps.
1-1 is a check swing. He tried to hold up there, but it is a swing for strike two.
Still only in the top of the third, though, so plenty of time for the Harborhawks to get back in this one.
You're still in slam range.
Yes.
1-2 is fouled back.
Yeah, it was just yesterday that these exact Falmouth Commodores let up 8 runs in the 7th inning to blow a lead that they had and in a loss to YD. So we've seen plenty of high-scoring affairs in plenty of these games. So it might be the Harborhawks' turn to be involved in one.
Outside ball 2.
And I've seen it through various beat reporters here on Cape Cod. There's the question starting to go around where it used to be a pitcher's league, but is it starting to turn to a batter's league here on Cape Cod because we've started to see so much firepower?
That one's flown out to left. Under it is Smith, and he makes the play for out number 2. So Martin is retired for the second time tonight, and that'll bring up Gavin Keelan.
Keelan, another one of the Commodores that has now seen the plate all past of his 3 at-bats in the first, second, and now the third. Had a single back in the first, though.
First pitch misses low. Trumper, a native of Fort Collins, Colorado. He's not responsible for either of the runs that scored this inning, but he is responsible for Tracy over at second as that one's flown down the left field line, giving chase and going off the glove of Smith as he goes crashing into the left field wall, into the bullpen, guys, as hopefully he's okay. He is. He'll jog it off. An eventful strike one.
Gotta love your teammates over there, willing to brace you as they made that play. They're confidently holding him up, trying to get him that extra distance to make a play on that ball.
Yeah, a lot of times you see teammates yelling room, 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 letting him know that you have a little more leeway along that foul line as that one's taken for strike 2.
Does a great job, especially with the unevenness of the bullpen over there, because there is a mound directly in that area, so keeping his feet under him and not getting tripped up over there as well.
1-2 is taken in there for strike 3 called, but 2 Commodores come through to score in the top of the second. Instead of sending it to break, we're going to send it down to our sideline reporter, Bria Losick. Bria?
Family drove all the way from Atlanta to be here for his first start. That is 17 hours. They took up a whole row of the bleachers. 6 people. You had all of his sisters, a sister's friend, mom, dad. Everyone was behind him. They said they only made the trip just for this start, and they're headed right back home another 17 hours. Thanks, guys.
Your future begins at Dean College.
Make a difference. Leave your mark.
Break the mold.
Be a leader.
Achieve unimagined heights.
Believe in yourself. Make lifelong friends.
This is your time.
Your place.
Your home. Your Dean.
It all starts here at Dean College.
Now, after just seeing that institutional, let's see, what is Dean College's mascot?
Oh, please.
I'm going to give it to you two. They always put it on me. I know it.
Yeah, because you're the guy who knows it.
I know you do.
Yeah. Well, let's hear it.
No, hold on.
Okay,
I want to hear you guys
we'll
guess.
Wait for Abby Stokes.
I know a lot of things in this world. That
Come on,
is
guys.
like the last thing that I know.
Our boss, Austin Dakuda, who's watching this broadcast right now, he's screaming at his television, a graduate of the Bulldogs of Dean College.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then there's Abby Stokes nodding right next to us. We should have given it to her.
Come on, guys. We've got 2. You got the Wildcat, and then you got the Bulldogs.
And I was going to say, producer Nico Sharp as well.
That is the most common mascot
you should have guessed. So you should have guessed. I should have guessed.
That might have been like my 3rd or 4th guess, honestly.
Really?
I don't know. Huskies, Wildcats.
Yeah. Cardinals, a common one as well.
Swing and a miss to lead off the inning from Bradkey Laurie.
Hey, Jacob, I'll study up on my mascots. I'll get you a few obscure ones if you throw it over to me. Maybe not today. Don't put me on it today.
I'm still waiting for you guys to quiz me, and I have not gotten it yet. I'm still perfect so far,
minus
the Pepperdine off air. But on air, I have been solid.
Hey, that's all that matters.
That was barely off air, too. That was like right as you took off your headset. One of our producers, Nico Sharp, asked you.
Yeah. They are grilling. They don't let anyone go by.
I mean, you can't be known as the mascot knower without us grilling you and constantly having you prove your knowledge of it.
Now, I just want to make it known that I did get that one off the air, the one that Jacob Irons didn't get. I got the Pepperdine Waves.
Swing and a miss for Laurie as he goes down for the 2nd time today. And that'll bring up Ben Williamson. It's the wave?
Yeah, the Waves.
Waves,
plural, yes.
Okay, hey, you got to emphasize that plural because
Waves.
What's Stanford?
Oh, the Cardinal.
The Cardinal.
The Cardinal.
Don't put it on.
No.
It's the color.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
Don't put the S on it because people do. Notre Dame plays the Cardinal every year, a storied tradition for us. So always a big emphasis in our broadcast meeting. The Cardinal, not the Cardinals.
And yet their mascot is still a dancing tree.
So now your fans, Jacob Irons, do they put that S at the end just for a little bit of fun?
Line drive into center field. Williamson has another hit, and that will roll all the way to the wall. It'll one-hop it. He's chugging around first. It will pull into second with a one-out double, and that is his second double of the game.
This guy's eating his Wheaties.
Yeah.
This man has found a way to put bat on ball contact. You can't get away with him. Batting .471, fourth in the Cape Cod Baseball League.
If he continues to do this, he might end up on the cover of a Wheaties box.
Yeah.
Really, possibly. I would have to imagine the scouts so far this season have been impressed with the Tribe prospect.
He's just got such a nice swing. He keeps his hands so far in. It's almost like you see it. It's what you've seen with DJ LeMahieu in the last few years, who's become a specialist at that.
Lane grounds that one back up the middle. Trouble with it is Keelan over at short. It'll trickle into center field, and this will be an RBI single for Lane. So the Harbor Hawks add yet another. They've scored in the last 2 innings, and Ben Williamson has created this run. That'll bring up Andrew Sundin. So Harbor Hawks certainly not out of this yet. We've seen some crazy comebacks here on the Cape this year. Of course, a couple of nights ago, a seven-run inning and a 6-run comeback. I'm blanking on who did that. Swing and a miss.
Well, just going back to Lane, it was really good to see him hacking early. He knew what pitch was coming once again. We've seen a little bit of early hacks from the Hawks, and you have to be confident because it doesn't look as good if you're swinging at the first pitch and popping it up. But really nice work from Lane to recognize that pitch and just drive it right back up the middle.
0-1 is ground to the left side. Up with it is Esbe, and the throw to first is in time for an inning-ending double play. So Sundin goes down, but the Harbor Hawks add another run. We're headed to the fourth. It's 5-1 Commodores.
Hey, Mama, what's up?
Did you switch my service from Verizon to T-Mobile? Yep.
T-Mobile has the only nationwide 5G.
Well, Mr. Know-It-All, let's see if you right about that.
Mama. Hey, Mama, I'm working.
It works at the pie shop.
T-Mobile's 5G works inside and out. Hey, what you need, Mama? I'm trying to watch the game with my boys.
It works in the park.
Oh, okay. Mama?
It works at the aquarium, in the parking garage, at the beach, in the elevator. It works in the movie theater, too. Oh, shush yourself. I'm talking to my baby.
You're driving me crazy.
I was just calling you to say thank you, baby. I love you.
I love you too, Mama. Yes, Mama.
It works in the kitchen. Tell Mama.
Mama?
5G, it works in the club.
Who are you on a club with?
All about it. Tell Mama.
To the top of the fourth we go. Harbor Hawks trailing Falmouth 5-2. And it's a Harbor Hawks pitching has struggled a little bit in this one, but right now we are joined by Harbor Hawks starting pitcher Jay Driver. Jay, how's it going today?
It is going great. I like it.
Yeah, we gotcha. We gotcha.
Gotcha.
We gotcha.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it's good to have you up here.
Pleasure.
I like the view from up here.
I know, it's pretty nice. You get to see all corners.
Not bad.
Sometimes you can't see the corners of the ballpark, but yeah. How's the view from down there, dugout?
It's great. I like switching it up during the game. I hang out in the bullpen a bit, in the dugout, and now I guess up here too. So I get a little bit of everything.
What's that like? Is it mostly bullpen guys just stick to the bullpen and starters kind of sitting in the dugout, or is it kind of mixed?
Yeah, the bullpen guys who are hot stick down there the whole time just because you never know when your name could be called. And then starters mix in between just to hang out, see the game from closer in the dugout, but also hang out in the bullpen, hang out with Coach Ray Korn. That's always fun.
0-1 is taken low for a ball to Charlie Condon. I have a very important question for you. You mentioned this the other day. Pirates Cove mini golf.
Oh.
I understand that you're chasing a record as that one's flown deep out to right center field. Giving chase is, that's Schoenfeld out there. He's going to get all the way back to the wall on the warning track and make that play for the first out of the inning. Pirates Cove Mini Golf, I understand that there's a record that you're chasing right now.
Yes, there is. There is 26. I'm not sure if that's actually a documented record, but apparently Buster Posey said it when he played in the Cape Cod Baseball League, and I got to give it to him. It's hard. I mean, we were doing the math, and I was talking to you guys about it the other day. I think it's 10 hole-in-ones.
10 hole-in-ones is what you said, yeah.
And then 8 twos. So, yeah, it's definitely tough.
Wow.
But I've been going a good amount. Ethan Lanthier, I think he's 4 for 4 the last 4 days on playing at the course. So, you know, we're getting a feel for the greens, know where the ball breaks. We were thinking about getting a caddy out there, maybe a yard finder, one of those range finders, but
yeah, well, we've got our own little league amongst our broadcasters, and I've got to say that I'm the proud winner of our first game. And to your right, yeah, Mr. Jacob Irons shaking his head will be my caddy for our next round together.
Loser has to caddy. Maybe you guys could take that into yours.
All right, I like that. I like that.
Who's the worst mini golf player on the team?
Whoa. Throwing right
you can call him out.
I don't know if there's a distinct worst player. Mitch Ferris, he's up and down. He won the first day, and then he said he's had a couple tough rounds recently, but we're all within a similar range.
Sometimes it's just a slump, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes you slump.
All right. So last start for you, it was a good one. 5 innings, 2 hits, no earned, 6 strikeouts, and 3 walks. Off speed was really working. What was the goal there? Were you trying to mix in a little bit more, or?
Yeah, I mean, I think with these hitters, they're very talented hitters. So trying to work the off speed in hitters counts, 2-0, 3-1, be comfortable throwing a changeup or slider, and then also starting them off with that too. Just kind of being unpredictable in which pitch is coming, because I think if you just throw fastballs first pitch always, or 2-0, you give them a fastball down the middle. You know, these guys are good enough to punish you pretty poorly or pretty badly. So, yeah, just being able to feel comfortable throwing different pitches and different counts.
For a pitcher, we always talk about the adjustment from a metal bat to a wood bat with hitters. Mm-hmm. For a pitcher, is there anything, as that one's grounded to short or to second, Laurie up with it, throws to first in time for out number 3, and that will retire a very quick half inning. If you don't mind, could you stick around for another half inning?
Yeah, I'd love to.
All right, sounds good. So we will be right back here on the Harbor Hawk Baseball Network.
Diet Coke? Who are you, my mom?
You should be so lucky. Because you know what moms do? Well, I suppose we should start with the whole giving you life thing. It seems like that should be enough. No? Okay. What about her ability to send shockwaves through the neighborhood without saying a word? Or whip up a ridiculous handmade costume that you forgot to tell her about? Not to make you happy, but because she had a reputation to uphold. She invented rideshare, called it carpool, and did it for free. She didn't need those dating apps either. You copied her jeans, her spin, her shoes, her scrunchie, and whether you realize it or not, her music.
Why not?
Oh, and she can win any argument in 4 words.
Because I said so.
Everything you're trying to do, she's already done it, did it better, and she did it with a Diet Coke in her hand. So, drink what your mama gave you.
Amix Smith and snow due up here in the bottom half of the 4th for Hyannis. Jay Driver joining us in the studio right now. And, you know, as I was saying earlier, the adjustment from the metal bat to the wood bat for hitters, obviously we know the sweet spot on that wood bat is a little bit smaller. That probably plays to your advantage. Is it like that, or is it maybe a little bit something else, unforeseen consequences of that?
I wouldn't say that as a pitcher, you alter your approach to hitters necessarily based on whether they're using a metal or wood bat. I think, like you were just saying, sometimes certain flare hits with metal bats might get caught with wood, or vice versa. Like if a metal bat, you might hit it and it could go to the outfield, versus wood bat, it might die right in front of the left fielder or something like that. So I think the little nuances like that just kind of worked their way into the game. But yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how big the adjustment. I'm not a hitter, so I don't know how big it is for those guys, but as a pitcher, sometimes you like when you get the broken bats. That's always satisfying.
Yeah, a little bit of like a 2-seam movement in on, you know, if you're a righty in on a righty.
Yeah, exactly. Get some firewood.
Saw them off. Yeah, there you go. Did you get a broken bat at all in your first start? I don't remember.
I think there was one.
Okay.
I think there was one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get to keep it or use it as kindling. But
that one's lifted out down the right field line. It looks like it's going to get out of play, and it will land in front of the Falmouth bullpen, but not quite out of play.
So, Jay, you had a good season with Harvard this year. So you come in after not throwing for a few weeks, and you come back straight in, and you've got a few days of rest before your first start. How do you pick that mindset back up that you had from the season after a few weeks away?
Yeah, I think I like to get a little bit of a break. Obviously, that means I'm not playing in a regional, which is a bummer. But being able to have a bit of a reset, come back in just with the same mindset of trying to go out there and stay in the game for as long as possible, help the team get a win, and attack these hitters. You know, since obviously they're very talented, just go in there with the same attack mindset and try to get it going.
And everybody's just come in from all over the country, and everybody, it's sometimes there could be a tough time of mixing in with different kinds of personalities. It seems like this team has gelled pretty well, though, within the first few days and games.
Yeah, definitely. I think that everybody on the team likes each other, and the coaches help with that too. We got a great staff. So, yeah, I think that's a big part of how you can find success early in this league, exactly like what you're saying. Kind of just thrown into a new group of people, but being able to hang out outside or get comfortable on each other quickly can definitely help for the on-field play.
So do guys from like certain conferences, do they kind of stick together, or it's just all kind of like mismatched?
I'd probably say it's like pitchers, hitters mostly, just because that's who you spend the most time with on the field. But no, I mean, like I like as a starter or like hanging out in the dugout, being able to interact with the hitters too. I like doing that. So yeah, I wouldn't say that there's any sort of groups right off the bat.
Amick draws a walk. How about this guy, Billy Amick? He's crazy.
I know. It's good I'm glad he's on our team, not on the other team. I got a question for you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
so, boy.
Who would you say, in your past days of playing baseball, who is your player comparison on the Hawks? In your Little League game or high school or whatever it was.
Putting us on the spot.
Who would you say?
That is a question.
I don't know. I wasn't athletic, so it's not Ben Williamson or anybody else athletic.
Maybe either Bradkey or Eric, because I was a middle infielder.
Okay.
Could play a little bit of third if necessary, but I'd call myself a contact hitter as well.
Right,
so, I mean, I slick fielder too. I mean.
Okay.
I mean, hey, I stopped playing in middle school, so it's been quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm going to join in here from
on
the camera. I think mine would be Jay Driver here.
Oh.
Hey!
The guy's got a little bit of the media experience. That's why I'm going to take him as my player comp.
All right. I appreciate that.
No, hey, he's got a future being a color guy if this whole baseball thing doesn't work out for you.
Hey, it's working, though.
I think I would have to definitely plan out more to talk about. I mean, baseball can be a long game in terms of filling some of the voids of what to say. But yeah, no, I mean, obviously I love the game of baseball, so I could see myself doing that.
Yeah.
Cam Smith picks up his second hit of the game, and that'll bring up Eric Snow with runners at first and second. If I had to give my comp, I was a 6'2" catcher. Well, I'm 6'2" now, so I was still tall back then. So Donay, I guess.
You were the Brody Donay of middle school baseball?
With no power whatsoever. it was all grounders. That one's lined into center field, and it will get down in front of Tracy. But Amick had to wait for that one to get down to make sure it wasn't caught. And he will advance to third, so a little bit of stationary baseball here. Nobody out, bases loaded.
All right, here's your guy right here.
Here's Brody Donay.
And here's your Mickey Doolittle.
I cannot hit a ball 450 feet.
No, good hitting, though, so far from the boys this inning, because, I mean, that's one that, again, we talk about manufacturing so much that you just need the soft contact. Don't need to get it done all the time with the big hits. But now here's your guy. You want him up in this spot, and it's a big spot in this game, down 3 runs early.
That one's smashed out to right center field. Giving chase is Tracy. He's at the track, and he watches it hit the bottom of the wall. This is going to score a couple, as it's going to be Snow held up at third base, and the Harbor Hawks have pulled within one on a 2 RBI double from Brody Donay.
There we go.
And we talked about it here pregame. It was going to come to Brody Donay at a certain moment. That's going to be the hit, I think, where everyone's going to look back on. They're going to circle it and say that's when he broke through at that moment. Brody Donay, big clutch hitting there to get Hyannis back within it.
Yeah, just a few inches from the wall, too. That might have bounced up, one-hopped, and short-hopped on the warning track. Really got a hold of it. We've been saying that the qualities of his at-bats were really good, and all that was missing was the contact. Well, yeah, there it was.
It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell where the wind is, and that one's flown out to left field. It's going to be given chase and tracked down nicely by Eze as he catches that one over the shoulder. No tag for the first out of the inning.
It's a big out.
It's hard to tell where the wind is right now. You can see the umpire's pants kind of in loose clothing kind of flowing in the wind, but there's no sign from the flag out there in right center field.
Yeah, yeah. It was blowing out earlier today, but it's died down a little bit.
Yeah. So here's Laurie.
It's never a good feeling as a pitcher showing up to the ballpark and the wind is whistling out to the outfield, but now it's a little nicer.
Do you just walk into the ballpark on those days, see the flags, and just like, oh no, today might be rough?
You know you got to keep it down.
That one's
that's
blooped
for sure.
into right field. In and to his right is Povey. He puts that one away, and no tag from third from Snow, so 2 away in the inning.
Yeah, just a bit unfortunate that Laurie got enough on it. I mean, you want to hit it hard, but in those situations, hitting it too hard could be punishing, as we did not see Snow tag from third, but decent work from Laurie to get a bat on it. Hey, and just yet again, we saw it earlier. It's just there was a guy there just on this occasion.
Here we go. We got the right man for the job right here.
Oh, yeah.
So I turn it around. Who would be your pro comp?
Pro comp? I think that I idolize Max Scherzer in his kind of approach to the game. I think he's a fierce competitor. I really like the way that he plays the game. Maybe like in terms of pitch-wise, someone like Adam Ottavino, maybe lower sliders. But yeah, I like Max Scherzer. I love to watch him pitch.
He's a fiery guy.
He's been around for a while too. He's still doing a good job.
Yeah, what are you guys thinking on the bench about this guy, Ben Williamson, up at the plate?
I am thinking that I am very glad that I'm not pitching to him.
Yeah.
Another guy.
He is really impressive, man. Everything is hit very hard. I think what's most impressive to me, honestly, is that Ben played third at college. Obviously I didn't play with him, but his teammate Carter was telling me that he was a third baseman, and I think Ben's not only picking up outfield very well, but he's doing a very, very good job with it, which is really impressive. So I think this speaks to how much of a true athlete he is.
That one's flown foul. Count evens up at 2-2. There was one play that he made at Fenway. I don't know if you saw this, but it was a backhand towards that third base line, and he fired across the infield. It was like shades of Nolan Arenado.
Yeah.
It was like the moment I got here, it was like, wow, these guys are really, really good.
Ben told me today he's attempting to make the first, I guess, Arenado, or you could call it Derek Jeter play from the outfield.
Okay, okay.
Pick it up on the run, jump hop, and throw it to second base.
My word.
Yeah, I told him, I said, I've never seen that before from the outfield, but I mean, you could be the first one to do it if you want.
Yeah. He made a decent throw last night, too. He didn't get the runner at second, but he threw it from the foul pole down the left field line at Brewster's Field last night, and made the play look a lot closer than it really should have been.
Yeah, definitely. That's something that I feel like doesn't get noticed super often, but it's something that can really impact the trajectory of the game, like just the outfielders getting the ball in really quickly and preventing base runners from getting extra base. Yeah, he does a good job of that.
It's that combination of range and arm strength to get it back in.
I think he's got that infielder instinct of getting the ball quickly in, like a bang-bang play at first, but it's from the outfield, so it helps.
Williamson chops that one to short. Over to first in time to retire the side. 2 runs in the inning for Hyannis. Jay, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you guys
it's been
for having
fun.
me.
We'll do it again soon.
Yes, sounds good. Thank you, guys.
5-4 your score right here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
Diet Coke? Who are you, my mom?
You should be so lucky. Because you know what moms do? Well, I suppose we should start with the whole giving you life thing. It seems like that should be enough. No? Okay. What about her ability to send shockwaves through the neighborhood without saying a word? Or whip up a ridiculous handmade costume that you forgot to tell her about? Not to make you happy, but because she had a reputation to uphold. She invented rideshare, called it carpool, and did it for free. She didn't need those dating apps either. You copied her jeans, her spin, her shoes, her scrunchie, and whether you realize it or not, her music.
Why not?
Oh, and she can win any argument in 4 words.
Because I said so.
Everything you're trying to do, she's already done it, did it better, and she did it with a Diet Coke in her hand. So, drink what your mama gave you.
Welcome back to McKeon Park, where the lights at McKeon Park stay bright all season long thanks to the NAC Cape Cod. The NAC offers 2 locations, Hyannis and Orleans, both offering delicious burgers, tacos, sandwiches, and more. Visit thenacCapeCod.com to order online today. The NAC Cape Cod is proud to be the Light Up the Park sponsor for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks all season long. 5-4 our score between Falmouth and Hyannis. Hyannis getting 2 runs in that bottom half of the 4th to get back into this one, and they're within striking distance again.
Yeah, we got to have Jay Driver in the bullpen more. In the bullpen? No, up in the booth. We got to have Driver up in the booth
I know.
more. I mean, he was the catalyst for this. The mojo switching around. It was a really good inning for the Hawks, but all of that was happening with no out. You really got to credit Nyman for getting those 3 outs and bearing down with those runners in scoring position to make sure that his team stays in front.
I think he may have broken our curse, though, too.
Hey.
Our curse of guests coming in and going down 1-2-3.
Well,
he did stay for the first inning.
The first half inning was a 1-2-3 inning that went fly out, strikeout, ground out, and that was pretty quick.
Oh, that was a nice, healthy bottom of the inning there. We got some good time with Jay.
I am very happy that he was willing to stay for another inning. Again,
Yeah.
we thank Jay Driver for joining us up here in the broadcast booth. 2-1 the count to Michael Eze. Takes low for ball 3. Daniel Trumper back out there for another inning of work.
Eze 2 for 2 so far. He legged out an infield single back in the first and doubled and scored in the third.
Pitch is taken inside. And that was ball 3, excuse me. Or was a called strike? I'm not sure what's going on with the count here. Nevertheless, it's a full count. And here's the pitch. It's a curveball driven out into right center field. Williamson over. He dives and it goes off his glove and one hops the wall. Eze is going to put in a huge turn around second and then retreat back. But it's a leadoff double for Michael Eze, and Falmouth is back in business.
Yeah, Falmouth continuing where they left off there and does a good job of it. Williamson doing a great job to lay out for it.
I can't believe he got there.
He got there.
That looked impossible.
And you saw the frustration after the play of him banging the ground, understanding that he made the choice to lay out there and just couldn't have that opportunity at that moment to get out a little bit further.
Handle stands in, tries to check his swing. Yes, swing. Excuse me. No appeal. Donay asked for it, but it was called by the home plate umpire. He tried to check his swing again, and it is called again by Ron Starsiak. So quickly 0-2. 0-2, foul back. That was a fastball. I might throw a curveball here. Maybe try and change up speeds, skip it in front of home plate. That puts a little bit of pressure on Donay to try and block it. Curveball, missed it.
Now, once again, you're going to start seeing it here for Trumper being a little versatile of how he works with in runners on base in that situation.
Curveball struck him out. Big 12-6 movement on that one, and see you later. So 1 out in the inning. And that'll bring up Harrison Povey.
Yeah, just quickly back to the man on second, Michael Eze. He's 3 for 3 on the day now, 2 doubles. He nearly rounded second all the way and made it to third, but he's looked really, really good in his at-bats today, just spraying the ball all around the field.
Povey fouls that one down the left field line.
Now, this is a big spot here for the Harbor Hawks to try and get out of this with only being 1 run away from Falmouth before they respond.
Trumper was really good in his last appearance. It was at Wareham in that 11-5 victory. 2 1/3, 1 earned, 2 hits, 2 walks and a strikeout. 1-1. Off the knuckles and back towards us and out of play, and it's 1-2.
That one beautifully cleared us. There was nothing out there. It didn't even hit the top of the roof or anything. That went straight out to the playing field behind us.
Eze gets his lead from second. Here's the pitch. That one slapped out to left field. Back and now in is Smith. He puts it away for the second out of the inning.
Smith doing a great job, especially with that wind we've talked about. Can sometimes affect those foul balls, and to go to a Mickey Doolittle special, you're starting to see the sunset here. Ball's starting to fade into the sky a little bit, so it does a good job of coming in on it and tracking to put 2 away.
Second night in a row that you've called it the Mickey Doolittle special before I've had a chance to bring it up, so it's now becoming the Jacob Iron special.
No.
Forever known as the Mickey Doolittle Sky.
The Mickey Doolittle Sky, I love it.
This sky is brought to you by Mickey Doolittle.
Wow, and even a sponsorship itself. Look at this.
Any mention of the sky without the express written consent of Mickey Doolittle is strictly prohibited.
Oh, man.
Tab Tracy stands in, and he takes a curveball outside for ball 1.
Just trademarking things over here in Hyannis, apparently.
I was going to say, now no one can say anything about the sky.
What?
Just totally cut off sky privileges for everyone else.
The 1-0. That one's lined out to center. In and to his right is Williamson, but it's Smith calling him off to put it away for the 3rd out of the inning. So Trumper works through the leadoff double as we head to the bottom of the 5th. It's still 5-4 Falmouth on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
We all have obstacles, challenges at different points in life. I still push myself every single day, and the harder I push myself, the more I find myself drawn to wearing UFOs. The first time I put on a pair of UFOs, it was like someone released the pressure. It was so crazy. When you are recovered and can do more, that has a compounding effect on all aspects of your life. Stepping into a pair of UFOs, they're truly one of a kind. There's nothing like them.
Best ever? Good question. Wait, why'd he sound like Dr. J in your head? I've always sounded like Dr. J in my head, which means Dr. J's outside voice sounds like my inside voice? Which Coke? The doc would know. He got the world to call him doctor without going to med school. There's only one best ever.
Welcome back to McKeon Park. There's that beautiful sky. 5-4 Falmouth leads. There's my beautiful sky.
The Mickey Doolittle sky, nonetheless. Just trademarking everything out here in Hyannis. Next thing I know, it's going to be the Jake Irons pen for my G2. We're continuing here, but who knows?
Guys, we have a 1-run ball game right now.
It is, and that is because of clutch hitting from the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. They've done a great job of finding themselves in this position, and we've talked about it, and we'll talk about it again, manufacturing runs and using them to their advantage.
Yeah, we've just seen them fall behind, and maybe not even fall behind that far, but they give up a run in 1 inning. They come back. They punch straight back after getting knocked down themselves. They come back, and they show that they're a resilient team, and they're not going to go down without a fight.
We've talked about it. They've responded. When someone has scored, they've responded. There's never been a situation where you're like, they don't look like they have fight. Every time they have fight in the box to try and prolong an outing.
Yeah, and if nothing else, like we saw over these last few nights, Coach Eric Beatty has to be satisfied with the effort that at least they're getting those runners on. We talked about it in the pregame that last night we didn't see the big hit come across to get those runs in, but those runners were on, and all that was missing was the big hit.
Alex Lane stands in, tries to check his swing, but does not, and it's 2-1.
Yeah, and you talk about it where they got to find it. And that's just really interesting because you have only been here a week.
Yeah.
And they've already grown to this type from a team mentality as well. It's not just a single player. They are all cultivating and buying in to the program and the culture that Eric Beatty is preaching in the dugout.
Yeah, you said team. It's a really, really good team culture that's building, and just for everybody to be buying into it is so huge because just a few guys say, all right, this game's over. Well, that just throws off the entire mojo of the team.
That one's lined out to left field. Handle back, and it is going to one-hop the wall. Alex Lane is going to pull into second with a stand-up leadoff double, and he stays hot.
The Husky is growling in the box today. And once again, we've seen it now for a second time where the Falmouth outfielders can't really figure out where it's going to go, and they don't necessarily back it up. They just play it directly off the wall, as Handel does there, to now put Lane on second. Now the tying runs.
It's on second, and looks like we forgot a bat out there, but it's quickly scooped up. And we'll look like we're going to have a meeting at the mound. There's action in the Falmouth bullpen, so we don't know if this will do it for Nyman quite yet. Here with the tying run at second and the go-ahead run represented at home by Andrew Sundin.
It's the right guy you want up in this situation too, as we mentioned earlier, leading the league in RBI so far through this young season, and another punch back. These guys are just really working back hard as we see action in the bullpen, and yeah, that'll be all.
New pitcher coming in for Falmouth. We're going to tell you who it is and all about him when we come back right here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
Diet Coke? Who are you, my mom?
You should be so lucky. Because you know what moms do? Well, I suppose we should start with the whole giving you life thing. It seems like that should be enough. No? Okay. What about her ability to send shockwaves through the neighborhood without saying a word? Or whip up a ridiculous handmade costume that you forgot to tell her about. Not to make you happy, but because she had a reputation to uphold. She invented rideshare, called it carpool, and did it for free. She didn't need those dating apps either. You copied her jeans, her spin, her shoes, her scrunchie, and whether you realize it or not, her music.
Why not?
Oh, and she can win any argument in 4 words.
Because I said so.
Everything you're trying to do, she's already done it, did it better, and she did it with a Diet Coke in her hand. So, drink what your mama gave you.
Back with you here at McKeon Park. That'll do it for Dominic Nyman as he wraps up with 4+ innings, 8 hits, 4 runs, but only 3 of them earned, a walk in 5 strikeouts in a outing for him where he gave up runs in each of his last 3 innings of work. And the new pitcher, who is it? Jacob Irons?
Yeah, at this moment, it is Cole Crescent, the senior from Louisiana Monroe. Made 16 appearances with 5 starts, boasts a 9.37 ERA over 40 1/3 innings, allowed 46 runs, 42 of them earned, so necessarily big hitting against him. Interesting to see how he battles down here and finds that opportunity.
So the runner at second, Lane, is still on the hook for Nyman, as those 4 earned runs can quickly become 5 here with a timely single from Andrew Sundin, who has come through time and time again so far this season for the Harbor Hawks. It'll be interesting to see if Hyannis can continue. Once they get those runs in innings that we've seen today, and then they get some more guys in scoring position, they've struggled to get them across.
And that's what they missed yesterday at Brewster, was just that couple timely hits. They had the guys, like we said, they left 11 on base, the Hawks did. They had that opportunity. They just missed that one or a couple timely hits. But now you're starting to see it pay dividends as they're starting to make bat-on-ball contact.
Sundin stands in. Here's the pitch as he swings and misses the first pitch.
Healthy hack there. He wanted a lot of it. It's that approach, like we talked about, coming into the game, hitting 500 with runners on.
Sundin, we said it earlier, in his final game here with the Harbor Hawks. Here's the pitch, and he swings and misses. Or excuse me, fouled that one off.
This is Highfield doing a great job there at that moment to do and take it. That's a tough pitch, especially when it's fouled directly back at you. You don't know if at that moment it will hurt you, but doing a great job. Brick walls back there.
0-2. Swinging a pop-up, but that'll get out of play.
That's a little high in the zone, but that's a protect me swing there from Sundin, understanding that you don't want to leave anything to chance.
Crescent sets at the belt. Now with the letters, now deals, as that one's popped up into shallow right center field. 3 players converging on it, but it's going to be Martin to put it away for the first out of the inning. So 0 for 3 days so far for Sundin, and that'll bring up Amick.
Big response there from Crescent. Getting your first batter out because, like we always say, the first can always be the toughest sometimes, and now you have one banked, but still doesn't remove Lane at second base. And going up against Billy Amick, who entering today with a full night rest of sleep, has a single and a walk.
Yeah, going back to yesterday, his first game, he's only been retired once in 6 plate appearances. He's walked a few times, including today, as well as been hit by a pitch.
Crescent, a healthy fastball slider mix. He'll also mix in a curveball and a changeup occasionally, but mainly fastball slider. One 1-0 to Amick. Here's the pitch, and that one is in the dirt, but he went around. Starsiak's been pretty active behind home plate, calling these hitters for check swings.
Yeah, part of the new umpiring crew that came in for this year after an agreement comes in with the United Collegiate Umpires.
That one's lined down the left field line, handle over, and he's not going to get there. It's going to one-hop the wall. Coming into scoring the tying run is Alex Lane, and Billy Amick in his first home game with Hyannis has tied the game.
Yeah, he just keeps his hot hitting going. He comes straight from Clemson, of course, with a little bit of a break in between. Just keeps that same mentality, just like Jay Driver was talking about, keeping your same hungry mentality just to succeed and do what you were doing in the season. And, yeah, Billy Amick is going to be showing us what he brings to the table. That's just a little taste of it right there. We've seen him get on base however he could, hit by pitches, walks, and now even scoring a run or two.
And in stands Cam Smith. That one's a shot down the left field line. That's going to go about 400 feet, but maybe 400 more feet off that foul pole down the left field line.
Yeah, there's a housing complex over in left field.
Imagine you're trying to take your evening shower and then just a baseball hits the side of the house. 0-1. That one gets to the backstop. So Amick is going to advance to third, and he took a large turn around third as Heifel took his time getting there, and counts even at 1-1, and that sets up a sacrifice fly for Cam Smith with the go-ahead run over at third.
Yeah, that foul ball is really what we were seeing at the Fenway exhibition, was just him just shooting them out over the Green Monster. But, yeah, that's a confident swing from him, and that, even though it was foul, that should get him into the mindset of, okay, I can get some really good contact on the ball. Just got to keep it in between the lines.
Infield is pulled in. 1-1, swing and a miss. Putting the ball in play has to be the goal here for Cam Smith. It's going to be made a little bit tougher in a 2-strike count here.
And you want to try and extend and take advantage. If you can put it in play, you don't need to get a hit. If you can put it into the outfield and use a sacrifice here, that would be huge.
Smith takes strike 3 call. And that will allow the infield to back up here. And it will be up to Eric Snow.
That low strike has been in effect today.
Yeah.
They've seen it, and it's been called.
So Snow stands in with the go-ahead run at third. Here's the pitch, and it's in the dirt, and it kicks away from Heifel, and this will score the go-ahead run. Harbor Hawks are on top.
Opportune base running, a great job by Billy Amick, reading that right off the bat. Heifel couldn't find it. It bounced in front of him, but went to the right side, down the first base line, and Amick right there on it to come across on the wild pitch.
Takes a lot of pressure off Snow here. Now they've got the lead back, and he can just hit the way he would normally. And that's a normality. That's a normality too.
He can hit normally well. He got hits. So.
Yep. And that's the first one today.
That's stunning that it took this long.
It really is.
I can't believe it took this long.
Yeah, you talk about it. They lead the CCBL in hit by pitches, these Harbor Hawks do.
It's just ridiculous. It's day in and day out, and it's nothing on the opposing pitching, as we mentioned yesterday, and that's going to hit Donay. Oh, it hit him in the hand, and that can't feel good.
I feel like we broadcaster jinxed to that one in that situation where we didn't talk about it. However, Ron Starsiak will call in his rest of his crew to see if he went around on it after I think there was a little bit of a chatter from the Falmouth Commodores dugout to see at that moment.
And that was the first real bit of frustration that we've seen from any Harbor Hawk after getting hit because, as I mentioned last night, none of these are intentional hits, but they're after getting hit for so long, after getting now hurt potentially with those pitches and getting the bat taken out of your hands with an opportunity, that's not going to please you at the plate. But as we take a look, yep, he's been given that base.
Yeah, Starsiak coming out after a little bit of a lengthy conference. No instant replay available here on Cape Cod. Whatever the umpire sees, that is the call that stands. And I like the call there from Ron Starsiak to conference it in. I think that's a really well-utilized conference, using your partners in a big spot to have that conversation as well to confirm the call is made correctly.
So Donay's hit, and that'll bring up Schoenfeld, who takes a called strike 1. Hyannis has been hit by 10 pitches on the year. I'm not sure if that's entering today or live, and it is live. Pitch, Schoenfeld chops that one down the first base line. This is trouble, tough play. Camden picks it up, and he flips it to first just in time. Tough play as Schoenfeld with a good speed, and he's going to come up limping a little bit. Nearly beat it out, but the Harbor Hawks have taken the lead here in the 5th. 6-5 Harbor Hawks here on the Harbor Hawk Baseball Network. Don't go anywhere.
Your future begins at Dean College.
Make a difference. Leave your mark.
Break the mold.
Be a leader.
Achieve unimagined heights.
Believe in yourself. Make lifelong friends.
This is your time.
Your place.
Your home. Your Dean.
It all starts here at Dean College.
Retirement strategies come in all shapes and sizes. One strategy does not fit all when it comes to reaching your retirement goals. And considering all your options may be, well, more than you want to think about. So whether you're looking to retire or already living in retirement, you need a strategy tailor-made for you.
Fairway Financial can create a personal retirement strategy just for you, designed to take care of you and your loved ones. Call
Harbor Hawks are back on top today for the first time today. 6-5 our score. 2 runs in the 5th, 2 in the 4th, 1 in the 3rd, and 1 in the 2nd for Hyannis. And it'll be the top of the lineup for Falmouth as Trumper will be back.
Yeah, and we're talking about it. Trumper coming out and strong bullpen pitching, but now the question begs the mind of Eric Beatty. How are you going to adjust in this situation? You had to use him a little bit earlier than I think he would have thought after Colson Buchanan didn't go necessarily the distance I would have to imagine. He only went 2 1/3. You would probably like to see him go 3rd, but we got dogs in the parks all over the place today. Great crowd in the stands today. Doggos all included.
And I think it's time for Thaniel Trumper to find that dog in him here in the later goings, because now it's these Harbor Hawks that have the lead, and at this point they really have to hold it. And I think he knows that. And I don't think he needs Eric Beatty to tell him that. But hey, now that the Harbor Hawks have the lead back, it's time for him to bear down and really find that dog and that grit in him.
That one's lined to left field, and it will get down for a soft line drive single for Christian Martin. And Falmouth has their first man aboard here in the 6th. So Keelan will stand up with a runner at first, representing the tying run, and himself representing the go-ahead run. And a timeout called, and Trumper will have a meeting at the mound as we have action in the Hyannis bullpen.
We talked about it. How far would Trumper go? Little action in the bullpen there as we start to see a number, and Jamie Arnold might get the call here early.
He was active today. I have a feeling, a high leverage guy in the 6th inning, if they get a couple more runners on, if Falmouth does, that might be a situation where you bring him in to try and just limit the damage a little bit.
Yeah, and we talked about his last outing, had 6 strikeouts straight, then had you back there, and he retired all 7 of his batters.
Yeah.
But that one coming on the ground out unassisted. But it begs the question of how you're going to start to mix and match pitchers, especially here when almost everybody on your staff is now gone a day. Everyone's pitched for the most part.
Throw it to first, not in time.
So you're going to have to play a little bit of that calendar. You're going to have to break it out, and after that quick conference, it almost looks like they were just trying to buy time.
And it looks like Coach Beatty is going to be pointing something out to home plate umpire Ron Starsiak, and he's going to have a conversation with him. Now they're going to be talking about something. They look like they're either gesturing towards the pitcher's mound or first base, just in that general direction.
Interesting.
So it won't be a pitching change.
No, it's at that moment Arturo Belamonte coming in to have a conversation with Skip Eric Beatty. Taking all 2 of them.
It'll be broken up.
Interesting to see what.
Maybe a little bit of gamesmanship. Give Arnold a little more time to warm up out there.
Yeah.
Not sure what that's about, but we're back to baseball. Pitch is high and in. Martin with a lead off of first. Keelan so far today, a 1-for-3 day. He scored a run after singling in the first. Struck out in the 3rd and grounded out in the 2nd. Pitch. Curveball just misses on the outer 3rd.
How far is the leash here on Trumper? Would you think, Michael, in this spot?
I think it all depends on how the rest of the inning goes, because with Arnold being a lefty and this being a lefty-heavy lineup, you really almost could bring him in at any point. You really do want Trumper to get these guys as soon as, like right before the right-handed hitter, so you could stay in and maybe face him or even get himself out of the inning for Arnold to come in the 7th.
Little check swing into shallow center. Back is Snow, and he'll put it away for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, big out there, so now he knows that he can go to an off speed, and if he induces a ground ball, it could end the inning. But as I say that could do it for Trumper.
So here comes Coach Beatty, and he will make the gesture to the bullpen. It'll be Jamie Arnold coming in relief to try and keep this Falmouth threat at a minimum. 1 out here in the top of the 6th inning. Hyannis leads 6-5 on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
That chip on the shoulder, that started at a very, very young age. People's expectations are, they're cool, they're fun, but mine are bigger.
When you play in New York, they want to see winners. It doesn't matter if it's a Monday or a Friday or a Saturday. You gotta come with it, or those fans will let you know.
Pick one thing from me, pick one other thing from another player, make it your own, you turn to who you want to be.
What motivates me is the unknown. You know, how good can I be? You get away from the lights, you get away from the camera.
Mientras más presente yo esté en la caja de batería, más éxito tengo.
Man, how can you not keep it fun, man? This is a kid's game.
If you could go back and tell 10-year-old Francisco one thing, what would it be?
You're a bad mother.
Daniel Trumper's day is done. 3 innings, 3 hits, 3 strikeouts, and no walks for him. But for now, we got a new pitcher for Hyannis. Who do we got?
Yeah, we got Jamie Arnold, who we saw warming up in the bullpen. Our own Bray Lassick talked to him in one of the pregame interviews back on Monday and had a conversation. But now Eric Beatty back out again to talk with the umpires, as now it's going to be a full conversation with Mike Hinojosa, Otoro Belamonte, and then Ron Starsiak, as they're going to come over to the dugout. And I think at this moment it might be a thunder and lightning as the athletic trainer comes out to show them their phone. And that's what we do in college as well. We see it at the D1 level. The trainer is in charge of showing off the lightning and showing how far it is. There is a lightning delay as they're going to maybe start making a move here.
As I pull out the weather app, it looks like thunderstorm is in the area and rain is possible after 8 p.m. or around 8 p.m. and it is 7:44 local time, so not much time, and it looks like we have some ominous clouds, and
they're going to send him in.
They're going to call him off the field.
We have now entered an official lightning delay here at McKeon Park. We talked about thunderstorms and the chance of precipitation in the near future, but with the strike being so close, they're going to have to pull him in. And now, if you haven't heard this before, it's the NCAA rules. Every strike within the distance relaunches the clock. You have to wait 30 minutes, so at least a 30 minutes delay here. But now the big thing here, after 5, this could stand potentially with Hyannis getting the win on a shortened game. But now in the lightning delay, we will hold off and maybe have a quick conversation.
Yeah, so in the top of the 6th with 1 out and 1 on, Hyannis leads 6-5 right now as we have gone into a lightning break. And let's talk a little bit about this Hyannis offense so far today. The runs have been spread out. They haven't come in bunches like they normally have. But, Michael, it's been a good effort so far. They've gotten the timely hitting that they were looking for all of yesterday.
Especially to be coming back from so far down, it really looked like it wasn't the Hawks' day at first, and it was. And at the start was a rough one from Colson Buchanan, his first start of the year. And it's not the way that you want to go out. It's not the way you want to start the year. But after falling down 3-0 going into the bottom of the 2nd, after falling behind, it's been a really good response, not going down without a fight. And now this is why every single out and every single minute and every single run matters, because we're through 5 innings now. This game, if this game does get called, this game will go to the Hawks, and that's not something that you were going to be thinking about in the early goings of this game. So really nice fight back from this team to take the lead as we go into the top of the 6th.
Yeah, Coach Beatty probably had that in mind in walking out there after Hyannis took the lead in the bottom half of the 5th.
A lot quicker to walk out and say that there is lightning in the area. Of course, that's going to be brought to anybody's attention, but he's a lot quicker to say that now that his team is back in the lead.
And once again, looking at the forecast, it looks like heavy rain is on its way. It doesn't look like it's going to last for very long, but it's something that maybe the field gets a little too wet, and that's something to monitor as well, whether or not the playing surface will be good enough to play on after the rain comes in.
Yeah, and like you talked about as well, no tarp here at McKeon Park. So whatever rain it takes, it is going to have to hold itself, and which could prove to be interesting, especially with how far it's going to run. But that run there at that moment is going to be huge.
Absolutely massive.
Because now Hyannis, being the home team, they can maybe push it a little bit further to the umpire and crew to be like, do we really need to finish this game? We don't want to jeopardize our players, as they're going to start to run out, and they're going to go grab the tarps and be proactive about it to put it on the plate and on the mound, as they want to try and get to their spots as quickly as possible. They've already tarped up the bullpen, and both bullpens have to clear because that's metal benches out there. You don't want to be sitting on something that's a lightning rod on it.
And you talk about that run being massive. It was a heads-up play by Amick to be monitoring that, kind of like the skip away from the catcher. He came in to score on the wild pitch, and that's how Hyannis ended up in the lead. It wouldn't have happened if he hadn't been as heads-up as that. No hit after that would have scored him. It was immediately an out, and just like that, Hyannis is up 6-5. So we're going to send it to a commercial break, and if this game ends up being resumed, we will bring you all the rest of the action right here on the Harbor Hawk Baseball Network. But once again, the score is 6-5, Harbor Hawks in the top of the 6th with 1 out and 1 on for Falmouth. Keep it tuned right here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network and the Harbor Hawks Twitter for updates as we bring you through this rain delay.
Your future begins at Dean College.
Make a difference. Leave your mark.
Break the mold.
Be a leader.
Achieve unimagined heights.
Believe in yourself.
Hey, Mama, what's up? Did you switch my service from Verizon to T-Mobile? Yep.
T-Mobile has the only nationwide 5G.
Well, Mr. Know-It-All, let's see if you right about that.
Mama. Hey, Mama, I'm working.
It works at the pie shop.
T-Mobile's 5G works inside and out. Hey, what you need, Mama? I'm trying to watch the game with my boys.
It works in the park.
Oh, okay. Mama?
It works at the aquarium, in the parking garage, at the beach, in the elevators. It works in the movie theater, too. Oh, shush yourself. I'm talking to my baby.
You're driving me crazy.
I was just calling you to say thank you, baby. I love you.
I love you too, Mama. Yes, Mama.
It works in the kitchen.
Tell Mama.
Mama?
5G, it works in the club.
Who are you on the club with?
Welcome back to McKeon Park, where this game has been called off. It was a 6-5 victory for the Harbor Hawks. We don't know if it will be extended into tomorrow or canceled altogether, but the end of the game is the most important factor here is that the Harbor Hawks and the Falmouth Commodores made it through 5 innings, which means this game can be just completely called off as this rain is absolutely pouring down right now. We're going to show you a couple of our shots from our cameras throughout the ballpark. This field is becoming like a lake right now.
Yeah, it has taken water. We talked about the rain is coming in sideways currently. It is absolutely flooding. There is no room to run on the base pass. At this moment, our camera 4, you see it shaking out there. That's our center field camera on a ladder out there. It is moving. This wind has come in. It has been a seaside storm throughout the money that has brought in some thunder and lightning. We talked about it. We were wondering what that conversation was with Coach Eric Beatty after final conversation. That was talking about the athletic trainer getting in there and having a conversation with them and talking to the athletic trainer. He was very visibly concerned going down there to talk to him, understanding the link of how far you had to be. Ultimately, this has been enough for the umpires to call the game. The water has just come down. The warning track is now a complete lake, and there's very little that you can do at this moment to have anything to play on. We had to shut our doors, but this rain is coming down. We had Leah, our intern coordinator, come in. She just stepped outside for a second and comes in drenched. It really is one of those situations where Falmouth was holding out hope to try and get themselves to play, understanding how big that run was, but ultimately the playing surface is just going to rule it, and the timing of this and getting to that 6th inning really crucial.
Yeah, and especially that final run scored by Hyannis to allow themselves to be going into this situation ahead. And Eric Beatty, of course, on it all the way. Head coach Eric Beatty walked out there in the middle of a pitching change, what eventually was a pitching change, to show the umpires a little picture of the radar on his phone. He kind of walked out. His head athletic trainer walked out as well to show him the forecast for the weather. This rain absolutely has poured down. It's one of those situations where it's thicker rain, so it's going to build up a lot quicker.
Yeah, there's nothing for it to fall into. When you talk about this rain, it's all coming at one time, so it's not a gradual where it can take it in and let it soak in. It came down basically for 2 minutes. It's starting to lighten up here for just straight down currently, so there's no place for it to go except up, which is going to be challenging at that moment.
Yeah, and if this game were to continue right now, it would be done in about 3 inches of rain. So it was really crucial that the Harbor Hawks scored that final run. They lead 6-5 right now. A bunch of clutch hitting, timely hitting, and we have our producer Grant McNew on a headset right now. Grant,
yeah, guys,
you got thoughts on this?
Yeah, resident storm expert here, Grant McNew.
From Arkansas,
yes.
and then goes to school in Oklahoma.
So I have a passion for storms, as a few of you know already. My town, Valonia, Arkansas, which some of you are familiar with. A couple tornadoes in about 3 years. April's been a rough month for Valonia in 2011 and 2014. I then moved to Oklahoma, the heart of Tornado Valley. Wow. Yeah.
Valley. There you go.
So, I'm very familiar with what's going on here. And what we call this in the business, in the professional storm chasing business, it's rain. It's raining outside. So you got to recognize that it's very wet. It's going to be drenched if you go out there. Like you said, our intern coordinator was out there for just a moment, got wet. Yes, that's what rain does. So look out for that if you're going outdoors. If you want to go play baseball in this, my best advice, don't, right? So that's what we're doing here. We're going to don't tonight. So not really much else to say about that. Big thank you to all of you guys for letting me come on.
Thank you. We always appreciate when we're able to get, I think he's got a great meteorology forecast in him. Let's get him out to Tornado Alley over there. He's going to be pretty strong.
Michael, thoughts on this one?
I don't know. I mean, Grant just kind of summed it up perfectly. But, I mean, it was a nice game, nice comeback from the Hawks. I'm just still trying to process what our producer, Grant McNew, just brought us through. But, yeah, you guys said it. Heavy rain calling this game. But the lights are still on the scoreboard as we just see lightning strike, reset the timer. Had this game still gone on. But a nice comeback from the Hawks. And We'll see whether or not this game gets called. As we said, after we get through 5 innings, it is a full game. So now it is up to the umpires as well as the league. It'll go all the way up to see if this game can stand as official.
Yes, so this game has been called. 6-5 is the score right now. We'll see if we continue it tomorrow. If it is just completely done, you have to imagine that it is just completely done. So, for Jacob Irons, for Michael Kirsting, for our entire broadcast crew, I'm Mickey Doolittle saying so long from McKeon Park, 6-5, your tentative final. Harbor Hawks win.